Hey guys, welcome to an RCW special live at the Macau Casino Cork in association with WrestleSlam, the podcast. We're joined by some of the crew, some of the hardcore wrestlers, the guys that take the bumps, they know what it's all about. Billy, Dino, and of course Matt hosts things. First of all, February 4th, it's fast upon us now. You were kind of cautious. You said, look, the fans want the show every month, right? But look, you obviously got that vision to do a couple every few months, right? Now, we have to announce, first of all, the great Billy Bellin won't be at the show.
No.
You're being put away. You're going to be in the care of some beautiful nurses for a while.
Yeah, I got the phone call yesterday, so long-awaited surgery, which is forcing me to retire from wrestling anyway, is Friday, so I have to take, like, 12 weeks out of work, and I just have to go recover, like, but, so I'm going to miss the first show I'm missing in 9 years in Cork. I've been at every one of them since CCW's second anniversary show. I haven't missed a show, so I'm gutted, but it shows in very good hands with guys like these on hand, and obviously sure that the show goes on, like, you know what I mean. So,
Definitely.
so I'm gutted I missed it, but it's fast approaching now, and like I was going to say I can't wait for the show, but I can't wait to hear about the show. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah.
And look, putting the show together, first of all, we've seen some matches being announced there in the last couple of days, weeks. The card looks fucking unbelievable. We've got some of the biggest Irish stars in all of Ireland, some of the biggest indie stars, coming from all corners of the sea. But look, what was it like putting the card together, first of all?
It was easy enough because I like to put two cards together at once. So when we did the last show, I had pretty much my mind what was going to happen for this show as well. I do kind of 2 or 3 in advance, but I just blocked booked 2 this time because we have some carryover stories from what happened. We'll talk to Dean about that in a minute. For what happened at the last show, and I'm going to do another tournament, tag team tournament this time. And I'll announce a match now that hasn't been announced yet. It's Raven Creed versus Fabio, which is going to be an absolute fucking belter.
Sweet.
That's going to be a classic.
Exclusive.
Match night, written all over that. And I look forward to it. The last show, I didn't know what to expect going into it. It was our first show under the new umbrella. Made some changes, and it was a great night. Like, everyone had a great night. You must admit, like, I was blown away by the response. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we have to mention Corey Wall, look, a guy that we know for many years. I remember doing an interview with Corey 6-7 years ago in Clayton. Obviously forced to retire. He's been through a lot the last couple of years, but look, you could see the emotion in his face. Don't think he was expecting it.
He wasn't.
Obviously that was surreal, and look, it actually circulated there recently, the video again, but incredible, what a guy.
Yeah. Well, I kind of kept that under my hat when I knew he was coming. I only told Marion Armstrong and Fionn to set it up. I don't know, maybe I told one other person.
I didn't even know.
I wanted to keep it as a surprise. He deserved his moment. He had to retire under fucking awful circumstances, the poor man. Never to wrestle again through sickness and whatever. And he's had a rough enough couple of years. So he deserved his moment because he was one of the people on the scene to start. Like, so for play to him, and more than best of luck to you, Corey, buddy.
Definitely. No, look, we have to speak to the two boys next year. An absolute mecca to take a knock, to give the knock, to give all the high fly. He's the equivalent to Jeff Hardy when it comes to Irish wrestling, right? I have to say that.
I'll take that.
The man next year, powerhouse, the ladies absolutely coming, fucking, you know what I mean? Legions. I think he sells 85% of the tickets with the ladies. I look, 2 incredible guys, right? Obviously on the
up. We had to triple lock the doors for the Kino, I believe.
Liquors, bras being thrown, all sorts of stuff. But obviously, look, this is a product of what's happening in Cork right now. It's we're looking at all the Cork wrestlers. I'm not even going to mention Irish wrestlers, Cork wrestlers, and like, you know what I mean. We have OGs, we have guys that have been around years, but look, these guys are just incredible.
Yeah, 2 of the best, and like, to be fair, I genuinely think these two guys are 2 of the best in the country. Like, they can hang with anybody. I've seen them have wrestling matches with the best in the country anyway. And I like genuinely looking forward to seeing your match. It's not been announced yet, so we'll hold on to that one because we must do a promo for it. But like, you have your hands full with after what happened to you the last show as well with Sam Desham and Rocky Star attacking you.
We'll see.
What was your thoughts on that? Look, big night, but look, the lads are just obviously dickheads, like, simple as that.
2 lads. I'm trying not to think about the 2 lads, to be honest. Yeah, because I don't know, it's just a poison on my brain at this point. Like, he made his decision, and I'm going to look the other way. I don't know. Like, I'm not thinking about revenge. You know what I mean? I just want to move on now.
Yeah, whatever happens, happens. But if they just so happen to be in your way again, are we going to expect anything?
That goes for everybody.
Well, it'll happen, alright, because I have the match graphic done, so we'll announce what exactly is happening in maybe Monday or Tuesday. We're going to keep a lot of some of the announcements for this week, just to build up the final momentum, you know.
Yeah, the Shamrock Connection, the group that no one has waited for, no one asked for, but sure.
Yeah, it's here. It's here.
Yeah. And look, we've seen your performances in the ring, Dino. Look, there's no doubt you're on a mission of dominance. You know what I mean? Many championships on the way. You know, what does Cork mean to you? What does RCW mean to you? Because look, you can see the atmosphere. It's incredible. Even last year, look, and there's such a good vibe in Cork. And obviously, you've got so many people in the audience. I've never seen it. Like, I know a lot of the faces that be around there for you. Like, how do they know him? And it's mad. You know what I mean? But
it's always been that way. I'd say I've been very fortunate. Like, I won't take any credit and say that like I'm so special. All these people show up. I'm just very fortunate with a loving family, all very supportive, and even just like friends of the family and all these things. Like they could have came to the first couple and then not came again, but they really do enjoy the shows. And they're not wrestling fans in any way outside of this. Like they really enjoy it. So it's always, I just like to. It makes it easier, especially like in Cork. Like I'm putting on a show for my family and I'm showing them that I'm showing them that I live my dream and it's not just a waste of time. You know what I mean? Yeah, like RCW specifically to me, I view it as like a place where we can flourish and do what we want to do, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's opportunities all over the country more than ever, I think. Like there's more wrestling companies than they can even keep up with. But RCW I think is in good hands because it's all the last nearly a decade of people in Cork like that have been through so much. It's all have to culminate now I think in this, you know?
100%. And we'll get to Matt in a sec, but look, we have to talk, you know, future opponents, you know, past opponents, but like, you're a powerhouse, right? An absolute athlete. So, you look at all the people out there at this moment in time that, you know what I mean, you could possibly wrestle on the indie scene and worldwide. Anyone in particular that stands out to you, like, you know what I mean? It's there's so many great wrestlers there, so many great matches for you.
Someone I've never worked with, Fabio. The man, the greatest Irish junior heavyweight champion of all time. You know?
Yeah.
So that's one that's never happened. There's a few kind of ones like that. Like there's people that I've dabbled with throughout the years, but like there's a few that I haven't wrestled in Cork, and there is a difference there between I think, you know, putting on a match in some place where we're not really known, then it being like, for example, it could be Matt Skyler versus Dino in Cork. There's context to that, like, do you know what I mean? A lot of meaning.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of 1v1s like that, like Fabio, Raven, Butch, all the people I've been rubbing up against since I started wrestling, but a lot of them I haven't had one-on-one matches with, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, completely understand. A lot of people were saying, you know, Dino versus Big Demo. There was many things, you know what I mean? That'd be.
Someone saying
Big Dino versus Big Demo.
Yeah, that'd be.
Oh my
it's got a ring to it, like two absolute powerhouses. Imagine that.
Nice guys,
yeah,
Big Demo. Like, so next time he's in town, I'm sure we could maybe sort something like that out.
I think a win over Big Demo. It's propelling. It's fucking. You know what I mean? It's savage. You know what I mean? There's like the Moxley, Omega, all these guys that could possibly come back to Ireland.
I'm sure if we're going all the way out there, like I'll take on the Tribal Chief. Like, and acknowledge me.
But why not? Why not? You know what I mean? Why not?
You've already have like a mental list, and now you're just like saying, well, might as well add on this fella, why not?
They're all good matches for Dino. There's no bad match whatsoever. Matt, you know, I've seen you wrestle. You know what I mean? CCW, Phoenix, RCW. Every time you wrestle, I flinch because I feel like, you know what I mean, all these big hits and slams and you're moonsaulting and doing all the crazy shit. Where does the cojones come from, first of all? Because it's...
I don't think is it so much that, more so is it the stupidity of just not really caring.
It's too dumb to know, right?
Literally, yeah, like that's where that comes from throughout the day. I just think I'm a bit not quite wired like the rest, if that makes sense when it comes to stuff like that. It's just, it does, when I'm comfortable up there, I can stand on a top rope and look at anything and feel like I can do anything, you know. So it's more about not having the fear and being a tiny bit stupid to do it as opposed to having the balls.
Yeah, I think you have to. They say it's like if you want to go far, you have to be a bit crazy. But I don't think you're being crazy. I think you're just being Matt Skyler. That's like more than crazy.
And like, it's just fun for me, really, as well, being able to do all that. It's something I've been doing since I was young. You know, like you said, Jeff Hardy. I obviously watched a lot of Jeff Hardy when I was growing up, and you know, all jumping off of walls, doing swanton bombs on trampolines, trying to hit moonsaults, 450 splashes, stuff like that. Like so. It's stuff that the years I've just tipped away at practice that, so I'm really comfortable doing it, to be fair.
And you look good doing it as well, as you say. Look, you're it's for such a young man. He's a veteran. That's great.
I wouldn't say that, but
a veteran. But like, you know what I mean. You look at possible matches that you could have at this moment in time. Like we mentioned Fabio and Dino. But Fabio's a guy you would have a great match with as well.
There's a lot of people.
LJ Clary.
I've never done one-on-one.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of tag matches against LJ, but we've never gone one-on-one in an Irish ring or any ring.
Do you reckon he's the kind of guy that could bring the best out of you? Because like you're always having 5-star matches, but like you look at LJ Clary, Fabio,
bring the best out of anybody.
LJ Clary would bring the best out of any person. You could put him in there.
In Europe, like.
Put him in there against a dummy, and he'd be able to do it. Like it'd be the best match of the night. But there's loads of people like Fabio, Martin Steers. I've been in the ring with in tag team situations, but I've never had a singles match with. Looking beyond that, there's people like Kid Bandit is another great one. I'd love to have a great match with Kid Bandit. OJMO, Leon Slater. Carlos Romo's coming over, saw that. We've had a few tag matches before against one another. Love to do that singles down the line.
So much there.
There is, but as we're talking there, I'm thinking when we bring the RCW title into play, which we will do at some point this year, probably during the summer. Like these two fellas here could be like Rock Aston for in the RCW equivalent, like, you know what I mean?
No, it's
main
true.
eventing for that title, like, you know. So
it's true. We can look back and we can stick this card. But as you say, like they're OGs RCW. It's the world is their oyster. Like they have the pops, you know what I mean. They have the likability. They have the absolute athletes, you know what I mean. So it's.
No, he's a good guy again.
We have a lot of imports coming. Obviously, you mentioned,
G Money's coming back. He's a big guy. He adds something to the shows. He's a big bull and he's got that comedic flair as well.
Never know what to expect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and himself and
he loves his nipples too. I think, doesn't he? He's very
yes.
funny.
Very
but nipple play. There's nothing wrong with nipple play.
They're short, I think.
I think
Beyonce's hands.
Sensitive nipples
it's
is a
the
great
Gene Money, very money open weight belt or whatever it is, but that'll be on the line again now against CBL. And himself and Richie, Owen Richards had a belter at the last time, so I know, So him and LJ, Owen Richards and the Saviours, so no, we could. Saviours, yeah, all on board.
Saviours.
But himself and LJ, who've. Like they were together in Saviours and Phoenix, and like obviously LJ turned his back on him, so I guarantee you that's going to be a nice.
Is everything okay in the camp at the moment in regards to Saviours? Because we don't know if there's a bit of tension there or something.
I don't know. Look, they lost the belts, their own belts in Fight Factory, and there's certain like Anita Vaughan and Andy Steele will be around as well. Like that match hasn't been announced yet either. So there's still a bit. I don't know. We have to wait and see. Maybe things are starting to creak at the seams a little bit. I don't know.
All the glory, and I suppose they're not used to the dark days, and they're not really handling that. Maybe.
Maybe they got flew too close to the sun a bit too quick. Like the wax wings are now melting. Who knows?
Yeah, they're awfully too handy now for they're doing a little too well, and there's it's the yin and yang of life.
Yeah, and it comes at you hard and fast, and you're just not ready for it.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. It's look yet again, people of Cork, the Kino Cork. It's an incredible venue.
Hopefully we'll be able to announce our next show as well, and I'd like to announce the next show on the show. So I'm just checking with the venue. Actually, I just sent them a message today.
You reckon it'll be all okay for what you want?
It's just it'll be okay if it's available.
Yeah.
I think the Kino is like such a.
We're looking to do Good Friday again because Good Friday is always a belter.
Yeah.
And that'll be like 9 or 10 weeks after my surgery, so I'll be grand. I won't be lifting any.
You'll come on over.
No, when I say grand, I won't be even. I still even won't be back to work or lifting anything. I certainly won't be wrestling.
You will try. I know you'll try.
No, I'll be at the show sitting down. That's what it will be. I'll be like classy Freddie Bedlam.
We'll get you in them wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Nice crutch.
Yeah.
But after the success of the last show and what buzzing for, wouldn't say this is a show. It's more of a tribute. You have to say.
It's
that's
tribute.
it. And those who hasn't even witnessed RCW as of yet, what would you say to even to non-wrestling fans or even people outside of Cork?
I'd say it's in the name because it's like you could we could advertise one of our shows and just say this is what's going to be. I think this show and what the theme of it entails, not just an HT reference, but it's a tribute to everything that got us to this point.
Absolutely, and it's a tribute to yourselves as well, and the people of Cork. I mean, everyone had great fun the last time. It was the most fun show I was ever involved in. And I want that to carry through again the next show, and the next show, and the next show. And we've something really cool building here. even I'm looking at a property this week, potentially opening a property for a school again in Cork.
Sweet.
I'll have news on that in the next few days.
Yeah.
So look, things are fucking. There's some things happening, and like we love, obviously our bread and butter is Cork. Like, well, mine is anyway. I know I won't be extending myself outside of Cork going forward and rest it, but these guys can fucking
It can't be killed, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think we've learned anything Cork wrestling
There's
cannot
been a
be
few
killed.
murder attempts on Cork wrestling over the years.
Yeah.
It's not worked though.
the scene will always be there. I mean, and it's just
The demand is
whatever.
there though, because anytime even if we think as wrestlers that it's dying down for us, like there's still people who come, not just my family and shit, like people.
Yeah.
People just always ask, like, when's the next show? Like,
When's the next one?
It's the
When's
same
it
faces.
happening?
So I
When we
noticed
go
there's
in?
a lot of loyal
Yeah.
followers, because when we go to the shows, we be salute people, like, and I'm really bad at names, but like, how are you? And you
people
know
that
our
were at
faces, like,
that
you know what I
have
mean?
been there since CCW shows, and even
Yeah,
we
literally.
would have thought at some point maybe like we might lose some people
might
here or
lose
there,
people
but like
here,
no,
yeah.
people they want the wrestling, and they're fans of the people involved, not the fucking name or
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, because I would actually chat to a few of like the fans who would attend like the shows, like the last WrestleSlam show. They would admit that was like, I'm not the biggest wrestling fan, but I fucking love going to these shows because it's great crack, great fun. So it was like, so pretty much we're aiming for like everyone to be involved. Like you guys are aiming for everyone, even non-people.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just a
Great
great
night
night out. Like as you said,
Yeah.
just there, it's a great night out. You and your buddies go out and just watch a couple of lads bait each other around the place and have a laugh. It's
I would
Great.
say it's nearly 50% of attendance are people a lot of times who aren't wrestling fans necessarily.
a lot of
Yeah,
people who
yeah,
aren't wrestling fans but
And
come
they're
and
the
just
ones
enjoy it.
who are mental, like.
Yeah.
They go nuts.
I think wrestling fans in Cork, a lot of the actual hardcore wrestling fans in Cork go to OTT for wrestling. And if they want a night out, they come to us like for a fucking night out, a few cans and have a bit of a laugh. Like, do you know what I
It's
mean?
the only thing, like when you think of it, it's the only show on in the city, even if it is every couple of months. Like what else is on? Legitimately, like what else is on?
It's the same shit every week. Like you win town, it's town's the same thing. You have something specialised then in regards to RCW, and it's like
It's all about fun.
I
Like, it's all
remember
about
that.
having a good time.
Yeah. Well, I'd say once we kind of get past like this next 12 weeks for me, I'd say we'll probably run every 6 weeks. I mean, that'll be on average. On average, you'd have 8 or 9, 10 about 8 or 9 shows a year. That's what I'd like to do. I don't like to. Maybe every month is that just that little bit too much from a scheduling perspective for me personally. But every 6 weeks, I like that.
But she said even the fans would take every 2 months, because at one stage we thought we might get 4 a year. But if there was 60 or 80 a year, Jesus Christ, that's brilliant.
Absolutely. And I'm working on some bigger stuff for the summer as well. Bag of Cans Mania, which is
God!
shout out
That's
to,
never been heard, I was.
shout out to Rory from Red FM who came up with that. As we were having a chat the other night.
Dapper Roar.
It rolls off the tongue.
And he was like, I have to host that one. I was like, we're not worthy, Rory. Like, you know, bag of Cans Mania.
Do you ever think of doing like I remember many years ago up in the Glen, I think CCW had it was like a Royal Rumble. For the spectacle, is that something that might happen? Might like a battle royal?
Rebel Rumble.
It's always a good fucking. You know,
We've been trying to get him to do a rumble type thing for many
I
years.
tell you
I
what,
think it's
I
a
tell you
great
one
one.
thing.
Rebel Rumble.
Is that I don't want to do it? Where am I going to put the people in the kino? How many wrestlers?
In a van, get a van and put 15 of them in
It-
there.
it's
That'll have to be a
possible.
circus
It's possible in the Circus Factory,
Factory, yeah.
and we must have a chat with them. They've got new flooring, so we'll have to have a chat with them as well. But
There's a lot of logistics involved in.
There's a couple of other venues we're looking at. A couple of other venues we're looking at for just to mix it up and spice it up a little bit. And yeah, I'd say every 6 weeks, and keep an eye on. Hopefully, we might have some school action happening as well shortly. So.
And that's something look, that happened many years ago, and you know it was a big thing. Unfortunately, the pandemic came and tits went up, and shit hit the fan. Obviously, for 95% of businesses in Cork, but
Yeah, it wasn't just us.
the demand is there. For
Well,
that
demand is
school.
there.
and
And
it's
people
the
are
younger people now that want to do it. Like,
Yeah, these guys deserve a local place to train, and new wrestlers that haven't even thought about it yet deserve a place to train.
yeah.
And like, I mightn't be like it might be an RCW logo on it, but I don't think I'll be really involved in that as such.
Yeah,
But I will be facilitating and probably with anyway I won't get into it now. But let's.
Will there
It might happen,
will there be like a window landing and you just like look down every like 10 seconds, like knowing that you're just scouting, like, yeah, baby.
Yeah,
But you've
I-
never seen Vince trying to show John Cena how to do a whip reverse.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like I'd be just the fucking
Just
janitor
be a
in the
gorilla,
background, like, you know what I mean? Undercover bosses, you know,
Be gorilla
with
bits.
the fake beard or whatever. Like, huh?
Do undercover boss, undercover beds.
And you just have
the
like
next
a,
gimmick.
you just have like a microphone under your shirt. It's like, hey lads, how's this going? And you just like puff out your chest, like just show off.
No, but there's a good opportunity. Hopefully, if this works out, it's a good opportunity for getting something in the city centre. And it would be silly not to explore it. So we see what goes.
And I was pissed off the last time. Remember we spoke about it in the podcast there many years ago about how it's not backed. Like how like a politician hasn't come aboard and said, look, we have a facility there. Look, we think what you do is great. Rent free. Look, fucking take that premises and look, build your empire and educate the people of Cork out to wrestle. It's crazy. It still hasn't happened, you know. But look, never say never when it comes to stuff like that. Maybe
never say never, because you don't like. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background there. We might have a couple of sponsors coming on board as well soon.
Deserve it. So it needs to be done. You deserve it, like.
And like I'd be very vocal and public about we need backing financially to form a proper fucking facility in Cork for a school, like so.
100%.
I might get on the radio for that, like, and start calling people up like Frank Buttermore,
but it needs to be done.
Who was very vocal when we were closing, and he was like, "Oh, I'll sort out. You did, the elections coming up now, pal."
Yeah,
if you want the wrestling votes, maybe it might be time to fucking pony up as well.
Because remember that episode we were talking
Jerry
about...
Buttermore, sorry, Frank Buttermore's the solicitor.
Frank might have us built up. He'll help on the other side of things.
Frank.
Just keep tempted to Frank.
Frank's in their thoughts.
But no, because I do remember, like you said, it was like we were talking about the pandemic and business, but I think we all noticed that the Irish wrestling scene's always been huge.
Yeah.
But after the pandemic, it was like we noticed that like more people is getting involved, more people is going for the shows and everything else like that. I think that kind of shows that, not going to say that this will happen, touch wood if this is meant wood, if another pandemic comes, the Irish scene would be showing that this is how much that this means to people. Maybe they will actually like invest in like more wrestling schools, especially in Cork, especially like knowing that you were there pretty much from the start before the pandemic. So
I think if something like that ever happened again, that we have this. We learn from this, you know what I mean?
I jump in the river if there's another pandemic.
That's the other side of it. But like
in
a wrestling sense, I think it was also paired with like not just the pandemic. There was other things going on in wrestling at that time. You know what I mean? I think the wrestling scene shrank and then expanded. Now it's bigger than it was before.
Like the amount of people who like during the pandemic even stuck around as well. We thought that there'd be a big drop off of people, losing interest, but the amount of people who've actually debuted and flourished post pandemic,
Yeah. No, it's a very exciting time to be in wrestling again. Like, I'm buzzing for the year.
No, not at all.
I'm buzzing for the year. We got some really cool plans. We've got great talent. We've got great team. We've got great backing from people like you who facilitate us. So thanks very much, lads. And I can't wait to not be there Saturday night.
So I'm an absolute wrestling geek, and I absolutely adore wrestling in general. It brings the child out of me, but it's probably fair to say, look, it's just that clique is incredible when it comes to wrestling fans, all uniting from one big night. It's just magic, and they're going to want to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said it there, I can count on one hand the amount of incidents we've had in CCW Phoenix or RCW. I think there was one thing we have to mention. There was a little bit of there was some bad comments said at one of the Phoenix shows. I think we policed it very well, and that individual was who turned up the next day, even though we were saying don't come back. Like he did turn up, and we pulled him out and we just kicked him out. It was like, nah, right, and then we did racism, sexism, homophobic or any kind of bullying tactics or just won't be tolerated. Like people are there, they're putting themselves out to pay for a show, to come to see a show, to pay money, right? The wrestlers put themselves on they're vulnerable, like men, female wrestlers, we just put on a show, and those type of comments in this day's society is just not called for, and it won't
that's just someone as well, like who's some langer from outside of everything. You get that in any situation. But the thing about wrestling, like everyone, we're all there for the same one weird interest that we have. So everyone has the same vulnerability. Or you could be like, watch wrestling, man.
Exactly. But again,
we're wearing tights and they're like it's.
Yeah.
On one hand, we can count the incidents.
Like you recognise the silliness of it, but there's also like just some. I don't want to say cult. There's a nicer word there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Camaraderie. There it is.
Camaraderie.
Unity.
Camaraderie. You know.
Yeah.
So that's the look forward, huh?
Oh, come here. This is only setting course, but
it's only been one show.
Tip of the iceberg.
Oh, but I can see the glare in his eyes, like fuck, like as you say, I know, like this is going on for years, and like I know you have an idea, and you'll always say like, oh look, we'll take it slow, and I'm like, you were taking it slow by the way, but it's just like fucking boom, and I'm like, whoa, do you know what I mean?
But I'm always thinking about things. I won't like. Phoenix got out of control, and I let it get out of control because I was steering a locomotive, and when I tried to run the brakes,
I meant to wrestle 13 other people at once. That was
it was too late, right? I put on the brakes, and it was already gone, right? I know, I get it. And we were launching another brand and everything. I was like we all know that type of scenario won't happen again. But that doesn't say we can't still have plans and do other kinds of show and experiment with certain things, you know. So I'm buzzing. I can't wait. You know, in fairness, and with these two, helping people like these two guys in Raven Creed and Mr. Charlie and Reardon O'Connor and Raven, as I said, like the Cork scene is thriving. We'll be flying. Like, no bother at all.
That's the best thing. Is like it's forever going to be Cork based. Like so, you're going to see like the best that the country has to offer. Looking at you guys, especially
Rebel County Wrestling.
who just so happen to be based in this city of Cork City, then you're going to have to come down and witness it yourselves. Like,
Yeah,
so.
There's one thing Cork loves, it's Cork, and that goes for their wrestlers as well.
Oh, yeah. I just got a flashback as well. Charlie, I think he was actually in that Royal Rumble. It was about 3 or 4 times he entered.
Yeah.
I think he went over that top rope around 4 or 5 times. So I think
Mr. Charlie is
he's iconic.
longest tenured wrestler in this side of the country.
Yeah, probably.
That's a fact.
I think
Not
so.
joking.
Yeah.
He's the vet. He's the
In
vet.
Cork, he has been around the
Oh,
longest.
the day we showed down in the kino, I actually was going up Shannon Street. He actually had the box.
I'll go anywhere without it.
3, 4 o'clock. No, maybe it was 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. He was
Yeah.
walking down like beef.
You should be scared if you ever see him without
Oh,
Yeah.
What a man.
All
I
of us
was,
in
just,
character.
I was just thinking, is he just going full method, or is it that Charlie?
If he doesn't have that
You
box.
talk about the
What do you
Undertaker
mean
not
method?
breaking character in 30 years. They've nothing on Mr. Charlie. Like,
I don't think they
you
can.
know.
I think it's safe to say we actually saw an angry Charlie at the last show. When you mentioned it, was like saying, I think we'd rather be in the ring with the Undertaker than an angry Charlie.
I think my favourite Mr. Charlie moment, Mr. Charlie show, is when he was Doctor Strange Charlie.
I remember that.
That was so good. That was so good.
I liked when he
flourished.
pulled the gun on Foxy. That was good.
That was brilliant,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. That was very good.
I don't think it was Charlie. I think it was Dr. Charlie. There was like
Dr. Charlie. Yeah.
And like, we just have to mention as well, completely forgot the format of the show. So like, the debut show was incredible. I think the way, you know what I mean, it was kind of like after the match there was a chat.
Yeah.
Fairly unique to see that. I thought it was brilliant, by the way.
Yeah, but I really just didn't want people to turn up and go, oh yeah, this is Phoenix. Because it wasn't like, and I tried to put a different feel on the show for the audience, for the wrestlers, for myself. Like I ended up ring announcing at last minute because Tom Philpott got laryngitis.
You've done a great job. Tom, we love you. And
Yeah, I did a great job,
like,
Tom, right? And I'm going to do that again, so...
it was very good.
No, I
by the
loved
way.
it,
It was
but
very good.
having Justy and Luke on commentary as well, giving it a different feel. Having a tournament, a Grand Prix tournament, again, different feel. CBL and Emma absolutely tore, Raven Creed absolutely tore it up. I'm terrible dropping names.
Lamford.
Sorry, lad.
Who?
Raven Creed and CBL, they
that
tore it
makes
up in
sense.
the main event. It was phenomenal. Like it was great to see, and Raven Creed deserves her moment as well as one of the shining lights in Cork wrestling. You know,
I can't go shopping without saying Lovebird without thinking of Longford. I've been like, you're going
Longford,
for it, lad.
yeah.
You're going for it.
Yup.
Yeah,
Longford.
love it. And he's a
star.
He's a dark horse. He's really good. Like
He's a star,
gonna
yeah.
be
He's
the
coming.
entrance, everything, like.
Yeah, no, he's a star. I think CBL, keep an eye out for him this year. He's probably going to be the breakout guy, I think, in Irish wrestling.
100%. I put money on it.
Yeah.
He fucking towards just the very end of One Night Stand, he was thrown in there, and like he added that fucking really good flair to it. You know what I mean? He's someone who always has great ideas, and he's on board for trying things, and like he always has. You give him something, and he'll expand upon it. Like you know what I mean, tenfold.
And he's no joke in the ring either. Like,
Delivering.
I was lucky enough to wrestle him up in Titanic, and he just has a special connection with the crowd. And you think he's a bit of a joke, but then he'll horse you around the ring like.
Turn
through
over
me.
as Rover like that. He's the Rover. Like.
He is,
Yeah.
He is Rover.
Yeah. I was a great guy in fairness. I did beat him for the tag team belts.
Not done yet. So yet again, look, it's an RCW special, Rebel County Wrestling. It's unique. If you haven't been to a show yet,
Get to one. Why? Why
What's
haven't
wrong,
you?
Next Saturday
Jack?
night.
What are you
it's
doing?
going to happen.
Next
What are you doing?
Saturday.
Come
Next
on.
Saturday night.
Just said it was like, if you haven't been there, what's wrong with you? That's it. There's like no.
Why aren't you there?
Definitely. Look, you're going to see some of the best talent in the country and outside the country come for one night. It's going to be next Saturday. It's going to be an incredible night. Tickets are there.
Tickets still on sale, about 10 seats left, and then we're up
10
there sold
seats.
out. A little bit of standing room left, but ticket sales are going really well.
Yeah.
I'd say we'd be in around the same crowds we had the last time.
Savage. And there's a pre-show, so it's for the kids, family. So
Yeah,
it's
it's a family matinee at 2:30, so anybody who wants to come down and bring the young people with them.
So it's a whole day. Like I think the last thing we brought their kids to the kids show.
Yeah.
Brought the kids home, went downtown, got food, dinner, drinks, and then it's a whole evening. Like,
Maybe
you
it's the
can't go wrong. Come to the show.
Double header.
Come to the show.
Do it.
And it's very important to mention the family show because it's kids are crying out for wrestling.
Yeah.
Families still don't know about it. That's the thing. Like I we all try to spread the word, but some people just don't go online and they don't see stuff.
I know.
It's the forgotten about things sometimes.
It's
like
savage. Family shows are
From now on,
incredible.
I'm gonna I wasn't available to do it, but we need to start posting and
Because
getting it out there properly.
Those kids are the ones who be at the adult show in 10 years. you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because
They're younger.
Posters, I used to rob all the posters back in the day.
Those kids are savage.
Name you so
Take
for
one and
more,
rub your
yeah.
wall, you know.
Yeah.
Not one, just one every show.
We just checked there just in case I got to go
Those
ahead
kids
from
are
the Keno
savages,
again.
by the way.
Actually,
Yeah,
this
we
one
got
there.
rushed the ring
We
last
got
time.
rushed.
I think I remember there was actually a
Like even
local-
exclusive there, so the next show is going to be Good Friday. I got to go ahead from the Keno, so we'll
Thank
announce
you.
the name of the show. We'll announce the name of the show on next Saturday night. I get the graphic.
And the last one was called. What was the
How
name?
should we fuck off, oh Lord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something similar to that.
Yeah. So I'll go through the life of Brian there later on. I'm sure I'll get some sort of a reference.
I love it.
So there we go.
We've had exclusives, you know what I mean? We've had, you know, potentially, as you say, look, there might be a school coming in the near future. We have an idea of what you're thinking, mindset, in regards to, you know, shows.
But by the next time we have a chat, I'll probably have 2 brands on the go. I'll probably have to book in a stadium and fucking 2 schools or something silly, and then I'm having a respect.
Live at RCW, Roman Reigns
Aaron
faces
Taylor,
Dino.
Doing invasion angles on yourself.
I
Yeah.
was just going to say, we were talking about the family show. It was like, remember when I was younger, there was like a wrestling show that came in. I wasn't allowed to go
Neptune
into
Stadium, and it was sold out. Remember Neptune Stadium back
Yeah,
then? The
yeah,
fake
yeah,
Undertaker,
yeah,
the fake
yeah,
Sex
yeah,
Pac,
yeah.
and they would sell out. It would
that's what I
sell
thought.
out.
This
I
show
think
is
that
going
was
to be
this. I was like,
tribute show, you know?
I think
I think we missed a trick there.
Yeah.
And if you would like to see an RCW Neptune Stadium show,
Oh,
let it be
there's like-
known.
Yeah.
Shout, let your
Make
voice
noise.
be heard.
Well,
Who
I
faces
do
Dino?
want to do that in the next 3 years. Otherwise, I
That's
would
always
have
been
not,
the
I would
goal.
have not came back.
It's been
Like.
the goal for
It's
a
a
long time.
realistic
hasn't
goal,
it?
yeah.
It is, yeah. These are the early days of what we're trying to achieve, and we'll build it from the ground up, and we'll be fine.
We get a GoFundMe campaign going for Neptune. You know what I mean? We'll raise 30-40 grand. Roman Reigns versus Dino.
We'll have to book Neptune himself.
Darby Allin versus Matt.
Oh my God.
I'll call the retirement to wrestle
Billy
Goldust.
versus fucking John Moxley. And
Jesus, no, Goldust.
Yeah.
I tell you, he's floating. He's floating. Be a great night in Cork.
Cody will announce it.
I'm just going to have to, I knew I had to mention something. Will this ever interest you? Say RCW, right? Bring a wrestler for a Q&A. Is that something that's potentially... So you know you have your shows.
Yeah.
It's something like to bring like, say Mick Foley comes to Cork or
Yeah.
fucking, you know, Moxley, whoever. Like, you have all these big names. Is that something that could happen in the years to come? Or is it just not a...
Like
not a thing?
you got inside the ropes doing that kind of stuff, you know, and I wouldn't like to tread on people's toes. I mean, that's the boys do a great job there, and I would like,
Yeah, yeah.
and like that's their thing, and this is my thing. It's not something I kind of genuinely have much of an interest in outside of if I was doing a stadium show. I know, like in my head, I'd have DDP announcing it, and I could bring him over for a weekend and fucking get him to do an evening with DDP first and foremost, and then in the Keno, and then the second night you have in the stadium.
Bit
Or
of
something.
yoga then as
yeah,
well.
that's what I was going to say.
You know what I
yoga
mean?
must be-
But
yeah.
like, we all dream, like, but like if you can't visualize something, you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Very doable as well. And DDP's a legend. He's been to Cork.
yeah.
I felt like I could walk through a fucking wall after listening to what he had to say. Literally,
Yeah,
I had to say for somebody thinking I could walk through a wall. He's been on the podcast with us. DDP in Cork is something that I'd say he'd love to do anyway, and it could happen.
Well, we'll see how we go this year, building up to where we need to be, and look, anything is possible over the next few years. I mean, it could be a case, and this is a realistic case, that like you might have 1 or 2 other promotions working together to put on a stadium.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
I love it.
You know, let's see.
The Spence, look, we're looking forward to next week. RCW back in Cork, the second show. There'll be many more announced, and look, there will be an announcement at the second show for the next show.
You want to course?
So
Show number 3.
Matt, Billy, thank you very much. Matt Murphy, Phil's
Cheers,
on the
lads.
camera.
Come on, Phil.
Thanks, guys.
Phil.
See you soon.
Phil.
Live at the McCown Casino Cork. Royal Rumble tonight, by the way.
See you there.
Say
Number
that,
30.
lads, so shoot me.
Number 29.